Hey guys, welcome back to Quick Notes with Chris. Today we're going to be talking about the book, The 4 Personality Types. Now, actually this isn't really a book, it's more of a concept that a lot of books do cover and they explain it in a lot of their own different ways. But basically most books or most self-help books that help identify the different personality types in there can categorize it into 4. I found 4 that I quite resonate with. They're very easily explainable. And I've also used 2 examples for every single different type of explanation. That'll make sense when I'm starting to cover it. But basically, yeah, so there's 4 types of personalities in the world. All right? This book, or this specific example that I'm talking about, basically orientates into 4. Urchins, whales, dolphins, and sharks. Now, you are not any one of the 4. Not any single person is only one. In fact, you normally are a merge. You're a smorgasbord of all of them, right? You're going to be double dipping into certain ones, but there's normally a dominant one and a secondary. A dominant personality type and a secondary, but you're always going to have traits across all the boards. So, the first one that I want to talk about is known as urchins or melancholies, right? Urchins or melancholies. So these are the detail-orientated people. Detail-oriented people, they're generally not the biggest people-orientated people. They're very much about the task. General professions that involve these guys are coders, anything to do with long, tedious tasks that don't involve too much communication with other people. These are the urchins or the melancholies. When it comes to motivating them, it's kind of difficult to do. To be honest with you, all they want to do is understand the details. They want to, it's like, show me the facts. Where can I learn more in order to form an opinion? Most people actually struggle to deal with these people if you're not an urchin yourself. But the honest truth is that these guys are sold out if you can show them the facts. If you can convert their level of logical thinking to what it is that you're talking about, you've got someone who's sold. You've got someone who's solid. These are the scripture writers in the Bible. These are the people who can sit there and code for hours because what they're doing is that they believe in it. These are very driven people if you know how to motivate them correctly. But however, for the most part, they are not the most fun people to work with. So unless you're an urchin yourself or are prepared to deal with the certain things that come with them, make sure that you understand that what you're walking into if you ever do work with these types of people. For a fact, just nothing's wrong with them. For sake of the record, I'm actually an urchin, technically speaking. The next one is a whale. Is whales or sanguines, alright? Oh, sorry, no, whales or phlegmatics. Whales or phlegmatics. These guys are lovable. They're very much outgoing. They generally just care about helping. They're very anti-conflict. Those are the positive ones. The negative ones are they're generally a little bit lazy. They're sort of like the types of people who are natural born followers versus natural born leaders, but they're probably one of the most common personalities traits. When dealing with whales, all they care about is basically that they're a part of the group and they're moving forward, right? There's not too many reasons as to why they want to come, but they just want to make sure that they don't have a feeling of being left out. They can be categorized and led by basically telling them what to do. You don't necessarily need to be very clear, but more so leading by example. They care about basically not hurting anyone's feelings, making sure that everyone gets along. So if you know anyone like these, I love whales. They're awesome to work with. Sometimes they do get a bit lazy, but it's about keeping them on track, and they're very easy to work with. Probably the easiest personality type out of the 4 to deal with. The next one is dolphins. These guys are sanguines. Now, I'm certain everybody's met a dolphin before. They are incredibly fun, incredibly outgoing. They always care about being the life of the party. They want as much attention as possible. And yeah, they're very memorable whenever you talk to them. All right. Now, here's the cons. They're generally messy. They're messy people, very, very disorganized. So if you're ever working with a sanguine or a whale, understand that you're going to have to make sure that you're in a position to handle the types of disorganization that come with it. Because whenever it comes to running a team, this is the biggest probably. This is one of the toughest guys to work with because you don't know what they're going to say. They're a little bit flaky on whatever it is that they say they're going to do. And the way to motivate them, the way to get them to do stuff, fun. Fun. You have to be at this event. You have to do this thing. It's going to be so much fun. That's all they care about. They care about being the life of the party. They care about having as much attention as possible. If you tell them that there's going to be other people around them, if you tell them there's going to be a group, they are there. They're sold out. Dealing with them in the long term is very difficult. Be prepared, right? If you're a sanguine yourself, then understand that there are certain things, certain positions that you need to put yourself in and things that you need to overcome by putting yourself in place. But other than that, they're very fun to work with. The 4th one is sharks. Now, these guys are probably the most scariest people to anyone who isn't a shark themselves. Now, if you've ever met someone who's incredibly driven, who's a little bit maybe could be described with cutthroat. That's a shark. So these guys are natural born leaders, right? Also known as clerics. They basically understand what it is that they want to accomplish and will do whatever it takes to basically make sure they achieve it. If you've ever heard this, if you've heard the mentality, if you're not first, you're last, that is what a shark is. These guys will do whatever it takes to win, especially if they decide that it is what they care about. They're the types of get it done people. Now, these are the people that you do want on your team, right? You don't want an entire team of sharks, just like you don't want an entire team of dolphins, whales, or urchins. You want a smorgasbord of all of them. But sharks are great pillars whenever it comes to an organization, great pillars whenever it comes to your team. These are the types of people that are going to get what done no matter what. They care about the result more than the process, right? So they're very easy to work with if they're sold out to what it is that you're talking about, which comes to when it talks about working with them. Tell it to them straight. They don't like anything that's filler, right? You tell them exactly, tell it straight, tell it to their face, and basically, like, you'll be ended up working with them like specifically. Now, let's talk a little bit about team building when it comes to working with these different types of personalities. You're always going to have to, as a leader, if you are a leader, chances are you're most likely a shark. Now, a shark can't be cutthroat to everyone, just like how an urchin can't be cutthroat to a dolphin. In fact, they're natural worst enemies, but you have to find a way where you guys can coexist. You have to find a way where you can sort of work with each other. And the way that you do that is by being an effective leader. An effective leader understands how to deal with these different personalities. So, to summarize, urchins, they care about details. Let them know that this is where you're going to go in order to get all the details. These guys are awesome because if you do sell them out, if you do basically if they do fully understand, they're sold out from the start. They will follow you, they will follow through because they have such a logical-minded thinking that if they're converted to a different type of thought, they've done enough thinking to basically justify the actions. Whales, these guys are very simple. Just let them know that they have to come. Just understand people are going to be there. They're very easy to actually get them to do stuff. If they're slightly converted, that's pretty much it. When it comes to dolphins, fun. All right, now dolphins. I'd say they're definitely worst enemies as urchins, okay? They don't go hand in hand, right? So you want to basically make sure that you put things in certain places in order to understand that. That doesn't mean that they can't be friends, but it just means that when it comes to starting new friendships, it is a little bit difficult. Now, sharks. Now, these guys get along with probably no one, right? Nobody likes to work with a shark, especially an unrefined one. But if a shark cares about the goal enough, they will be able to change. They will be able to adapt to the personalities around them. The only people that probably naturally get along with them are whales, because whales get along with everyone, right? But naturally speaking, everybody sort of like has a little bit of a disdain towards sharks. So if you understand your personality type, you need to understand your weaknesses, and just understand that you will always be a mixture between all four of them. You'll have a dominant one and a secondary. So, sharks and whales and urchins and dolphins come in all sorts of combinations. But what I also noticed about every single personality type is they get broken down into two categories again. An extrovert or an introvert. You can have extroverted urchins, you can have introverted urchins. You can have extroverted whales, you can have introverted whales. Right? Once you understand that, the next part to understanding and identifying people in order to basically effectively lead is whether they're a task-oriented person or a people-oriented person. Now, every single personality type naturally falls into one of these two. Like, for example, most sharks and most urchins are task-oriented. Most phlegmatics and most dolphins are people-oriented. But there are outliers, people that are very extroverted and omnivert and stuff like that. So the better that you can find about deciphering these people, the better that you can to lead, right? It makes your team become more effective when it comes to learning, when it comes to working, when it comes to basically doing anything. An effective leader who knows how to connect with its people, connect with its team members, is always going to be more likely to succeed. That's a fact. So the key to that I took away from this once I understood this is that you can't motivate everyone the same way. I used to think that everybody wanted to do the same things I wanted to do because of the reasons that I was thinking, when in reality, everything is different. So you need to understand what it is that your team is looking for. What are the reasons that they're there? What are the reasons that they're working towards? If you can understand that goal, you can understand that dream, then you can motivate anyone, especially if you're in the right vehicle to utilize that. Well, that's pretty much it for the 4 personalities. So to summarize, there's always going to be different personality types. The key is basically understanding where you are and the people that you're working at in order to effectively motivate them, right? Although it might not be the best idea to categorize everyone, it is definitely efficient when it comes to first meeting them and first motivating them. If you are looking towards becoming an effective leader, I highly suggest you don't stop learning there. Look at all the different types of personalities out there. Maybe even do a personality test. You'd be surprised how many there are out there. The most effective ones are the ones that categorize them into 4, because basically it gives you an example of all the different other people around you. So I highly suggest at some point you do look towards doing a personality test to identify yourself, to identify your own traits, see who you're attracting to you, and how you can deal with working with other people. Anyways, guys, that's it for quick notes with Chris. We have a few more videos coming up tonight, but that's pretty much it. But don't let your improvement stop there. Keep bettering yourself by looking through other videos, reading other books to put yourself in a better position for success. I'll see you guys in the next video.